what did I not ask you about One Inc. that's maybe people would think was really cool or, very insightful?
This is something that I can share because it's a difficulty with being an entrepreneur that's a change agent, right? So, and this is consistent with all of the companies, but One Inc. was particularly good at this. So you start out with a business, you make a change. Your investors and oftentimes your employees, they don't get it. Like, what do you mean you're going to switch from software to payments? Like, we invested in a software company, not a payments company. Or once you're in payments, we started working on outbound payments rather than just inbound payments. And in retrospect, all of these changes were the easiest changes in the history of the world. But it reminds me of, Starbucks, they struggled for like 6 months internal fighting whether or not to have non-fat milk on the menu or not. Like the biggest fight in Starbucks history was about non-fat milk. And you'd scratch your head and go,
why wouldn't you?
Yeah. So as we talk about these changes and stuff, the interesting thing is it may be really obvious for you, but it's really hard for people to change. And so we went to our first investor in the very beginning and said, we're going to do, we're doing software, we're going to do payments. They were so upset about us doing payments, they wanted out. So they sold out. Then with our next investor, we were doing payments and we said, we want to do both inbound and outbound payments. And they were so upset about outbound payments, they wanted out. Then we went to the next, and it's just like along the way, these really obvious, you look back and go, well, of course you're worth $2 billion. And these were the three things. Those three things were the things that caused the most strife in the company's history. Like literally I almost lost my job several times because of the changes that made the difference. So it's interesting because you think it's really easy. You just make good decisions and everybody comes along. And so I would advise, I probably could do better at making sure people understand the change and then do the change.